this episode of Cigars and Sea Stories. It's Mike and Bennett. We are sitting down with Eric Mitchell, who is a fellow Marine, and Eric is now a...
03 at that.
A fellow... Yes. Thank you so much. Thank God you're here. You know what I mean? This fucking guy over here.
Finish up the intro.
He's a marketing executive, digital and social media strategist, influencer. I love that, influencer. And speaker. Eric's super galactic personality fits perfectly with any tech of entertainment companies, work culture, and mission. I love this. It's like a fucking resume that's going on here, which is pretty awesome. In 2013, he began his tenure as an ambassador for one of the most widely used social media platforms in the digital space, that is Hootsuite. So we've got a Marine 03 out there doing great things here, Eric Mitchell, and we're going to get into your background for the first 20%, and then I want to know about, like, field fucking corpsmen the rest of the show. Okay? Sound good? Welcome to Cigars and Sea Stories.
Thank you, my brothers, for having me here. What a proper intro.
Thank you.
I loved it. I love the way you read my bio. It made me feel like, wow, my bio sucks. So, yeah. I feel better now. You know, when you send that off to speak when you keynote at a conference, it's really cool. You're like, I've got this killer bio. It says Marine. And then I'm like, it sounds really bad when it's read out loud. I'm like, thank goodness nobody reads it out loud, except when you're being interviewed. So,
well,
anyway,
it's because the Marine in us is going like, all right, yeah, let's cut through the bullshit. I get it. This guy marketing, whatever. Tell us about the last time you killed somebody. You know what I mean? We cut right through the bullshit.
Yeah.
So
the Marine said he was intergalactic. What the hell does that mean? Yes, I read Starship Troopers. I made the Commandant's book list.
Hey, all I know is that book is so good.
It is.
It's so good. Like, can anyone pick that mantle up and take that torch and make a movie that is worthy of the book? Because the original version, horrifically bad.
Yeah.
The freaking movie that needs to be made for that would sell out like millions of theaters. Amazing book.
bigger budget than Avatar.
Yeah, bigger budget than Avatar. Cameron, get on that shit.
No, he's making like 100 Avatars now, so we have to wait. Cameron's busy. You know,
Either need Cameron or like a Michael Bay.
Michael Bay rocks.
Yeah.
Michael Bay is like,
that would be. You know what? Michael Bay would probably do it justice because.
See, I just watched 13 Hours. The Michael Bay flick.
Mike saw it.
Bro, go out and watch it. I mean, we could turn your show into me telling you how much I love that movie. I watched it Friday by myself. My wife doesn't watch. She doesn't like it, and I have to watch those movies kind of by myself anyways, just because, you know, we're all Marines. We all, you know, it's like people watch Black Hawk Down and they're like, woo, and I'm like, not so much. I'm like, I never like to see a brother get wounded. I don't care if it's fake, real, or pretend. I'm like, it's not entertainment. It's not like we are like, I don't look at it as woo-hoo like, you know, idiots do. I mean, I guess I did like Full Metal Jacket before I went into the Corps. You know, how you're like,
God, yeah.
We could quote that movie. I see that movie. I watch it. It's a top 10. But it's like, I look at the real stuff that's happened since we've been in, and that shit's different. It's a completely different ball game when you're like, holy crap, this really happened, and, you know.
Yeah.
And we all know the feeling of getting left behind, so there's nothing worse than that. So 13 hours, Michael Bay loves Marines.
So tell us how you're able to get away with watching this, because we're my wife right now.
I am the luckiest man, and I'll do my Lou Gehrig voice. My wife is currently about 6,000 miles west of me in Bali, which is in Indonesia, where your Nikes come from.
Thank you, children.
Thank you. She's on a girls' trip. You know, on a side note, I'm mentioning her doing that. You know, I've worked my butt off. I always tell people, like, oh, isn't it a lot? She's gone until June 15th. And I'm like, you know what? I worked my butt off to be able to do that. And I think it's something that started really young when I got into when I started serving in the Marine Corps, right? You learn to be selfless, right? So even when it comes to being a spouse, I did that for my wife, and I sent her away, and I've been able to spend so much time with my kids. It's been great to have the one-on-one. You know, we kind of run the house like a military unit. Yesterday, we had a field day in the house.
Nice.
And it was pretty cool because they all did their jobs. I mean, we had racks stripped in the morning and remade by 2 p.m. It was a beautiful day in the Mitchell household. So she's in Bali, so I am, Friday, I was able to sit here. I went and did what we all do is when we're having our father bachelor time. I went and got my treats, and I sat down and I kicked on 13 Hours, and I went on. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then I went on. Then I went on Facebook following that. So, I probably shouldn't have done the Facebook after watching the movie, because then you just go on your veteran rant on there. You're like, ah, like, blah.
You did, and I read it. I almost responded to it. I wrote like a response that took me about 5 minutes to respond to it.
Yeah.
And then I was like, nah, I think I need to erase that.
Sometimes
it was all full of emotion and shit.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, nope, shit's too raw.
Mine was after a couple whiskeys, so it was like, yeah, I'm typing this. I don't care. Ha ha ha. Then the next morning I had to deal with some people who were like, you don't understand. And I'm like, oh, tell me more. Tell me more. Tell me more.
God.
Tell me more. So anyways, we could talk. Anyways, Michael Bay, great director. I like Michael Bay a lot. He's very pro-military, so I'm always a fan of anybody who's pro-veteran. I like that other guy, that director who did Battleship. That's probably the movie he doesn't want us saying that he did, but...
right, and I don't remember who you're talking about, but
he did Lone Survivor, was his other good movie.
Is it Berg?
Yeah, Michael Berg, I think is, or
Peter Berg.
Bill Berg. Or Peter Berg. I love him. Peter Berg, to me, is like, I love him like I love Gary Sinise. Gary Sinise could be in anything and I'll watch it, because what he gives back to our community makes me go, okay, Peter Berg could make a movie of Gumby getting melted, and I would say that it's an Oscar-worthy performance, because I know he would somehow give a percentage of that to a family, a Gold Star family, or just what they did with Lone Survivor money alone to that family, and the fact that when you listen to Marcus tell the story of, he told Peter Berg he had been interviewed several times to take Lone Survivor and make it a movie, and he looked at Peter Berg and he's like, if you fuck this movie up, you understand I'm a sill and will kill you. And all the other studios didn't like it when I told them that was my requirement, that I will be on set, I get to put my hands on you, and I get to throw your actors around. So I've watched some behind-the-scenes footage, and I've talked to Marcus in the past, and to watch him throw Mark Wahlberg around, and Mark Wahlberg's like, whatever, throw me around, bro. You've been through it. Let's do this.
Right,
I want to make this believable. So to me, Peter Berg wins the Man of the Year award, because he's the one. I mean, that movie alone is bomb, but Mark Wahlberg is the famous one who told, when Tom Cruise came out and said filming movies is like being in the military.
Right.
And Mark Wahlberg was like, what part of that is like being in the military? The 5-star hotel? The bazillion dollars we make? Which part of that, Tom, is like the military again?
God.
Right.
Anyway.
So Battleship. All right. So speaking of Peter Berg movies, Battleship.
Great
best
movie.
part of that movie, I thought it was pretty good, but
Yeah, so did I.
undoubted the best part of that movie, Brooklyn Decker. Just saying. Just saying. Just throwing that.
I'm going to have to say my second favorite part of that movie is K-Bay, the flight line, getting torn up, because I've run up and down that damn flight line. I also never knew CH-53s could take off that fast. I missed that somewhere in my time, that 53s take off quickly. I was like, when did that happen? Like, wow, that thing just started right up. They just flew that away. It wasn't dripping anything. It's like, wow.
It's good when it is dripping. We're not saying that you don't want it to be dripping.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I want to be covered in hydraulic fluid when I get off that bird. I want to be really dirty.
Hey, so real quick to frame it up for our audience, what years were you in the Marine Corps?
Oh, Lord. God. Wait, hold on. Let me go get in my DeLorean.
Grab your abacus. Right.
Let's go. Here we go. I went in August 20th, 1994. I am a Hollywood Marine. I was in Platoon 2042, Echo Company. I graduated November 10th, 1994 in San Diego on the grinder.
That's awesome.
Very proud of that. I served from 94.
Freaking another Hollywood Marine.
94 through 02 is my service dates, including reserve time. So those are my beautiful dates of service. I am third-generation Marine. My father served before. My father served during the Vietnam conflict, or war, whatever the hell you want to call it. And my baby brother, he also was a jarhead, and I can say he's a pogue. And not only did he go pogue, he went extreme pogue, and he was an air winger.
Nice.
So he was a crew chief. He did 8 years on the flight line, and his claim to fame is he was working on the flight line the night that they went and got Captain Attacker, Mr. Osama. I almost said Barack Obama. Osama bin Laden, wrong person, same terrorist name, same thing. So that's when. So I come from a long line of jarheads. I grew up, funny enough, my grandparents, for any of our East Coast Marines listening, I've spent summers in Beaufort, South Carolina. The PX we went to either went up to Charleston Air Force Base in Charleston, North Carolina, or we went to the beautiful PX that was on Parris Island, MCRD.
Hey,
so
home of the real Marine Corps.
Is there a real Marine?
Yeah, man.
Right.
Horrible.
Grumbles in the background.
Anyway.
Right.
That's great. Yeah,
so it's me against two Hollywood Marines. So
well, that's why my brother went. So I went into his graduation there. I mean, he was also a Crucible Marine, so I got to see the new Marine Corps that was like stress cards and
before my time or after my time.
Stress cards. Get the fuck out of here.
Stress cards and the kindler, gentler Marine Corps where they don't put their hands on you. Although he had the cool story happen in his boot camp. Somebody swung at a DI. So I was like, dude.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that.
That's when I went to his visitor Sunday, like, where's your DI? Where's your DI? I was like, which one of you got hit? And they were like, they told me, of course, I was like, let me tell you. It was pretty epic to hear the story. So I love those stories as a Marine. I take great pride in being a Marine. I love the Corps. I love anything I can do for veterans. So for me, it's the way I give back in any way. I mean, it's been a long journey, but I mean, just like any Marine I've ever met, I don't miss it. I don't regret ever going into boot camp, and I love people ask me and share stuff with boot camp. They're like, oh, did you hate being yelled at? And I'm like, hell no, that was awesome. It was hilarious. The questions they asked you, but you were 18 and shaking the shit out of you. But now when you go back and listen, you're like, dude, that was a dumb question they asked. It was great. But I was having fun. I mean, is that weird? But I mean, I think all of us who earn this title, we all kind of have that in our backbone where you're just like, that was awesome. That was cool.
No, and people think we're crazy because of that.
Oh, God,
It was awesome. It really was. I mean, at the end of the day, it was fantastic. So tell us about Eric Mitchell after the Corps.
After the Corps. Well, I I decided in my later days in the Marine Corps that I needed to acquire myself a first wife. So
as we all have.
Right. I acquired a first wife when I was in the Corps. I had a beautiful daughter who turned 18 and graduated from high school this year. She'll be going off to college up in Oregon. So I had a daughter when I was getting ready to get out of the Corps, and well, not getting. I had like 4 more years in, but so I came out. I was divorced, had this kid, and I went to the Sacramento Sheriff's Academy. I'm from Northern California, in case you don't know. So I lived in Folsom for my high school days. I originally from Orlando, lived in Folsom, came back, went back to Sacramento area when I got out of the Corps. Got out, went to the Sacramento Sheriff's Academy, and it was really hard to get hired. Just in case anybody who's not gone through the test, they asked some really dumb questions, and I had a hard time not laughing when they asked. Like when they ask you, you understand being in law enforcement, you have a weapon, and you might have to use it. And I'm like, right? Well, why else would we have a weapon? Like, we're not in the Coast Guard. We use these things. So I went into that. They put me on reserves. It wasn't really what I wanted in my career. So I had met my now wife that I've been married over 12 years to, and her dad said, while you're looking for a job, why don't you come with me to what I do? He was a longshoreman, so he works the waterfront, load ships here on the West Coast.
Wow.
So he took me down, and mind you, this is old school. The way that they do this shit in the ILWU is you stand on a line, and a man looks out of a window and picks you, right? Points at you, and that's how you...
Union shit right there.
Straight, so I walk in, and my father-in-law, before he passed a year ago, my father-in-law looks like Mr. Incredible. He's like 6'6", big Norwegian man, gigantic man, and he's been there. He's like a senior guy, so, I walk in, and I'm like, the boot. I come walking in, I've got the jeans on, I've got the Gore-Tex because it's January, and I've got everything that I borrowed from the Marine Corps when I was getting out that I'm like...
It's like Marlon Brando, though, is what I'm picturing.
Yeah, so I come walking in, and I'm like, the new boot, like, hey, hey guys, like Skippy. I'm like happy to be there. I'm like, so what's this? I got to stand on this fucking line, and this jackoff's gonna pick me, right? That's how it's gonna work. So my father-in-law stands behind me, and this guy comes up to me, and it's like 32 degrees outside. It's cold no matter where the hell you live. And he comes up, and he's about 5'8", and he comes up to me, and he's all tatted up, and he's got like a tube top on, and he comes up to me, and he's like, I heard you were a jarhead. And I looked at him, and you know how we get when somebody comes at you, and you're either going to identify your fellow self as seriously, you're going to either identify yourself when you served. And I said, when did you serve? And he said, I served my entire 20s. And I was like, what the fuck does that mean? And then I noticed on his arm he had a beautiful tattoo that your show's PC enough for me to say it, an SS tattoo, which we're all familiar with. Our friends over in Nazi Germany used to rock those. And he had one, and I said, oh, you weren't in the Corps, you meant serve like what? Because I'm like, Marines don't put losing teams on their arms.
Right.
And I just said that out loud, like, without thinking. Everybody in this union hall, like, stops. There's like 100 people in there, right? They're giving away like 500 jobs, and I stopped.
The collective gasp of...
And they all pivoted, and I looked at this dude like, dude, there's like nothing this midget could do to scare me. Because you know how we are. We're like, dude, really?
Right.
I've dealt with dudes who could I've had a dude who was so shell-shocked, woke up in the middle of the night and put me through a wall locker, okay? And I love that dude to this day because it wasn't his fault. You think I was afraid of this dude? So anyways, I just look at him, and he's like, I served at Pelican Bay. And what do I say back? This is a true story. If you're listening, this is no shit. Because if you watch it on AFARTS, you know what I'm talking about. I said, hey, I saw that on Locked Up.
That's awesome.
And he just looked at me. So that's my story of my first. So I came out. I worked in the longshore. I worked there on and off for up until I got really. I worked 2 jobs for a long time because I got married. I of course did what all responsible young adults do when they get out of the military. I knocked up my wife. We had our first child together, a daughter. So I had to have 2 jobs. So I started doing that at even the evenings, and I would work on the daytime working as a business development representative for a company called WebEx. I did that for a number of years.
Yeah.
And then WebEx got acquired by Cisco, and I couldn't do the drive to San Jose quite yet, so I got lucky. I had created this technology with a friend of mine that I went to high school with, and we built this awesome product, which is basically if you do fantasy sports in any way, we help build an algorithm that Yahoo now uses. So we got our product was acquired by a company, which I still can't ever really say until it hasn't been enough years for me to completely say, but it's a big name statistics company.
Right.
Yeah.
It may rhyme with stats, or it is named that. I don't know. Like I doubt they're listening to this podcast, and I doubt anybody listening is going to be like, "We're turning them in, damn it."
God damn it.
Exactly. God damn it. Turn them in.
Null and void.
You'll get no reward. So I did that, and then when I was doing that, I ended up going and meeting a guy at a networking event. I was like, okay, well, I'm here. I might as well go to this event. I went. They asked me to join a company called EchoSign. I spent a better part of 3 to 4 years with EchoSign. I just adored that. We got acquired by Adobe, and that's really where I cut my teeth in going from sales into marketing. I really love telling the story, and I like all the work that comes with it because it has to be a lot of adapt and overcome. I know, Bennett, you recently sent me a invite to write, what would you tell veterans, people who are getting out of the, getting out.
The epic blog post that we're putting together for Change Your POV.
Yeah, and I was thinking, it made me think because that's where, adapt and overcome has really helped in my life. So I did that. I worked for WebEx and then EchoSign. I did that for a number of years. Then I went and did some advising for some big startups, worked with companies like Apple, Google, Best Buy. I had clients in the NFL when I worked for Adobe, so I worked with the Broncos. I went to the Super Bowl in the Broncos. I worked, with all these sports teams. And then I started consulting. I started my own consulting gig, and I've been a marketer doing consulting and doing that. I work with Vets in Tech here in the Silicon Valley to help mentor veterans. And in the last 6 months, I've become very big with 22 Kill, which is an important movement to me, where my phone is always on, and I am proud to say that I am someone that any of our brothers or sisters that are out there that are feeling that they need somebody to talk to, I'm always available. And to to me, it's very close. We're losing too many veterans. I mean, it's disgusting numbers that we've lost more veterans to suicide than to actual combat since we've been in a conflict or whatever the hell we want to call it, about war with terrorism. And it just, to me, it's my passion project. And part of that is my baby project that I just love to death was I do movies, not adult type, but indie movies.
Yeah.
I got rid of those because I always understand what goes on pump stays on pump, and also what happens in Thailand stays in Thailand.
Right.
That's what I've been told.
And you will bring that shit back here with you.
I don't know where any of that is. That box mysteriously fell off the side of the ship. I don't fucking know what happened to it. I think there's a whole lot of evidence floating in the ocean in the Pacific. Like Marines are like, it's gone now. Never happened. If it went in the ocean, it's never there.
Right.
It is really funny. So basically, that's my story in a nutshell. So we make some silent EDM movies, electronic dance music movies. So we just finished our first one, which is very veteran related. It's a story of a veteran who was wounded in combat and basically finds the love of his life at an EDM festival. So we have some pretty decent music in it. We're hoping to get it picked up by a few festivals, and then we're filming our next two. And our biggest person that we're filming with is Deadmau5. He's kind of one of the most controversial people on social media in the world. So he's Canadian. We won't hold that against him.
Right, we won't hold that against him.
But he's a pretty cool dude. I mean, so I don't know.
So,
Did I miss anything?
No,
I missed Social Hangout. I didn't even bring up the show that I did last year.
I was about to say Social Hangout because I was going to say Social Hangout. What is it like to interview Guy Kawasaki?
Guy is awesome. I guess I'm spoiled in the fact that my other office, I have a home office and then I have a space in the same building as Guy. So I get to see Guy a lot. Interviewing Guy was awesome. I love Guy Kawasaki. He's so down to earth, and if you haven't watched it, it's on YouTube. It's on our Social Hangout YouTube channel. Guy is hilarious. Guy is one of the only people that when you're like, one of my epic ones, and it's about 1:30, and it's when we asked Guy what he thought about people who want to be thought leaders, right?
Yeah.
Want to be a thought leader, and he's like, those people are assholes. And I thought that was great.
Right.
Like, Guy's so down to earth. I mean, for a guy who hung out with the Einstein of our time, Steve Jobs, it's amazing how he's so down to earth, so approachable, and people go, well, Eric, how did you ask him how did you interview him? And I said, I asked him, well, how did you do that? I walked up to him on the USS Midway in San Diego, California when I was at an event, and I saw a guy there. I walked up, I said, Guy, I'm a huge fan, and I'd love to have you on my show. And he said, awesome. And that's how that went down. People were like, wow, that was it. And I'm like, what did you want? Like, I need to get a better story for the guy. Woohoo, Guy was on my show. But I mean, I've interviewed, Social Hangout. Social Hangout was awesome. Just to kind of tell everybody, Social Hangout was a international trending Twitter chat live streaming show that went 3 days a week for a solid year. So we've interviewed, I had the San Francisco Giants ballpark to myself back in May of last year on a Friday. We got to interview the head of social and had the whole ballpark to ourselves. The pictures are pretty epic where I'm just standing there and I have the whole ballpark to myself. We interviewed cool. Jane Seymour, not once, not twice. For those of you playing at home, older Marines, she was on your A-Farts. Your fathers remember her as a Bond girl, not once but twice. And those of you who are early Gen X, late millennials, you'll know her as Miss Kitty. She's awesome and still really hot for a girl in her 60s.
Right.
I got to interview her twice. We've interviewed, you name it, I've interviewed so many. It was kind of cool coming from...
What's cool is that they're the majority of them are on video, right? So
they're all on video.
Yeah, exactly. So they're all on video, so you can watch them. It's not even just like a listening experience to watch. It's cool.
You get to see me. It's great.
Yeah, I'm not looking at
awesome.
You, my friend.
Yeah, I would hope not. That'd be really weird. But yeah, Social Hangout was fun. I mean, I killed it off, and we're going to be doing something. I run a company now. I've officially launched it. It's been out. It's called Life Flip Media. It's been out for under a year. We've been running under it as our consulting guys for over a year, but it's now officially launched. The website's up. I have a pretty dream team. Basically what I have is a bunch of consultants working for me, and they work under one guy instead of individuals. I believe in you do more as a group than you do as an individual, so I believe off of teamwork. last year I wrote a blog, and Brian Kramer, who's done a TEDx, really good guy. Check him out at Brian Kramer. He asked me to write a blog that turned out to be his best blog on his website, which was crazy that I wrote something and number one I could put together sentences. That's just crazy that I could do that. But I wrote a blog. It's had like 3,000 to 4,000 views, which is crazy that many people have read it. It's been shared multiple times. But it's about being selfless. So I took my own writing about people need to work more on being selfless since we're in such a me environment, right? And it's something that I wasn't used to coming from the Marine Corps, where we're not me, right? We're punished for being me.
Right.
Like, we don't even know what the fuck that means. What do you mean?
There ain't no fucking I in team, bitches.
Right.
Zero. Yeah, I mean, why do you think none of our ranks have I in them? You know, they're not stupid. Like, we're not going to give the fuckers an I. No I's. We don't want them being like, yeah. Until you get to first sergeant where you can say you're an I. But I mean, I built this company off of the same kind of principles to have people hang their hat in there, and I'm trying to find more folks to put under the guise, and I'm like basically throwing like people I partner with so they get mentions. So not saying this, but you guys now are knowing that you're going to be when we brand again, and it should be released midweek. My engineer's working on it as we speak. We're going to be tagging your Cigars and Sea Stories are going to be on there, so people could go on and always tag, because those are I believe in lifting everybody together. It's a big thing for me, and it's something that I wish younger Eric would have known.
Right.
Because I look at younger Eric and I'm like, what the hell were you thinking, dumbass? And now I look at me at 40 and I'm like, holy shit, I just sent my wife to Bali for like 16 days.
Happy wife, happy life.
There you go.
And it's like 10 years ago, could I have done that? If I look at it, I'm some schmuck that was standing on a line begging for a job and having to deal with people who had served time in prison. We're getting jobs ahead of me.
With your hulking father-in-law hanging out behind you.
And then I had, and the guy who was picking on me through the window, it was hilarious because he would yell, right? And he had this meeting where he would yell at people, and he's like, "You're all pond scum," and I giggled, of course. I was like, "Oh, pond scum," and he's like, "What do you find so funny, Mitchell?" I'm like, "Do you think that intimidates people? Calling them pond scum?" I'm like, "Dude, I could help you with." Like, he insulted me in any longshoreman. When I share this, they'll laugh, and I guarantee they will listen to this. These guys are loyal. They will listen, and they'll share, and they're pretty strong. They've got like 500,000 members in the West Coast, so they're crazy.
Very cool.
They always laughed because the guy would be at the window, and I would just start with him because he'd call me a baby killer, which was like Vietnam. I was like, dude, I'm not that old, motherfucker. I'm like, you just said I'm a baby killer? Baby killer? How old do you think? Well, you served in the Gulf War. I'm like, again, how old do you think I am? I watched the Gulf War from my TV in high school. Asshole.
I was watching Smart Bombs so I can land on Baghdad.
I was watching Bernard Shaw on CNN when CNN used to not be political. Remember back in the day when you just watch it because it was news? You learned some shit.
Yep.
So I had to deal with it, but it was funny. This guy would be like, "You're pond scum, you're a piece of shit." And I literally one time told him, I was like, "Bro, I'll stop and insult myself for you because you really suck at it." I'm like, "You can't see. What are you going to say about my mother?" So trust me, I've been insulted. Just be an 03 for 20 minutes of your life, and you'll understand insults. Because you know how we all are.
Absolutely.
We cut each other zero fucking slack.
My favorite thing.
I love every minute.
My favorite thing to tell a brand new guy walking in, being like, "Who the fuck are you? You ain't special. You're in an accident. Your parents don't love you. Go play in traffic. If you're on fire, I wouldn't piss on you."
Yep.
Yes. You just get a rapid fire.
Ribbon. That's awesome. So proud of you. Good way to have that.
What is that? Is that a ketchup and mustard? Oh, something spill out of the hot dog over at the 7-Day store?
Oh, you were a squad leader in boot camp. Well, holy shit, you should be a fire team leader. Come on down. You're fucking experienced.
Oh, my God.
Go get me a can of back blast, you boot.
Dude, the kid who was in charge of the boots was the kid who said step in police call. He was that guy. Like, that was the extent of your responsibility.
That's it.
You're a leader amongst your peers, though. God damn it.
Yes.
Picking up cigarette butts. Whenever you got over near BAS, they all turned into menthol. You knew it.
God.
It was happening.
It's true.
Every
old
corpsman fucking smoked.
I had a corpsman as a roommate, and that was the greatest corpsman ever.
Yeah.
Actually, I saw another one of our funny story. What the hell? Doc Jewett was my first corpsman ever. Love that dude, Matt Jewett. I cannot find that guy wherever he may be. But there's another corpsman that was part of our battalion when I was in the Marine Corps. My first unit that I was ever with was Golf Company 2-3, and I was with 1st Platoon. Was I 1st or 3rd? Holy shit, I forgot. Was that
why?
3rd? I was thundering 3rd. Sorry, that's how I remembered. It's easy, right? You're like, holy. You get old, you forget what platoon you were in. I was like, I know what battalion, I know what company. I was with 3rd Marines and 3rd Platoon, and I'm remembering all the bad stories, but this is a good story. And I forgot it, but it was funny because I remembered where I was. But I mean, it's just, anyways. No, I saw the guy. He runs one of our docks. One of our corpsmen back in the day now runs the. If you're familiar with CrossFit, or what we call PT in the Marine Corps.
Right.
They need a cool fancy name for it. Pussies couldn't even run freaking the whole real obstacle course when they did it. We were at Marine Corps bees. We slammed it, saying on for and ran motherfucker. Woo! You didn't even run the whole course, and then you got to sugarcoat the O course. Fuck yourself. You didn't really run it. Anyway, he runs a it's like professional grid league, which is like CrossFit meets inside of an arena kind of shit.
Really?
He runs it. I was like, holy crap! I saw him on something, and I was like, that's cool. I saw a green sign corpsman. I remember that guy. I can't remember his name to save my life. He was just that corpsman, that guy, tall. He was really tall, kind of downsy looking. That guy.
It's kind of downsy looking. A touch.
This is veterans, but I'm safe. I mean, these are our people. I mean, I'm not speaking offensive.
You're right.
Oh my god, dude! The best
They're
part.
like, hashtag offensive show. never have that fucker back.
Oh god! I'll tell you what's great about corpsmen in the barracks: putting IVs in and drinking all night.
Amen.
Oh.
Amen. Amen.
Oh, that's fucked up without any of the consequences. None of them.
Oh,
You wake up right as rain. You're like,
oh yeah.
let's hump this shit. McCree standards, the fuck I care.
I'm hungover, Doc.
Right.
I need a fucking IV.
Let's do this.
Let's do this.
Have you ever laid out on the packs before a hump and got an IV? You're out there at like 3.
Yep.
What time staff sergeant say to be out there? 0230? No, bullshit. That was at the armory. No, he said 15 minutes before 15 minutes. So it's 0230 at the armory to grab our shit? Or what are we doing here? Well, are we staging trucks? I don't fucking know. Stage the trucks to the UMA the night before. Get the boots to fire. Watch 0230 over there, 3 at the UMA. Doc, grab the IVs. Let's do this. And then you go drinking. Like, this is like 10. This is 2200 the night before, and then you go get drunk as fuck, and then he gives you an IV, and then you step off on that hump. I have been intoxicated on a hump. Definitely. More than once.
But
I ran some of my best PFTs intoxicated in
Drunk as-
Okinawa. What are you talking about?
Yeah, hell yeah.
all right, epic sea story. You guys want to hear it?
Oh yeah.
All right, here we go. All right, so this is Eric's. This is out in Eric's little land out there in Cali. So drug interdiction mission, JTF 6, 1993, 94. Okay.
Oh, shit. You're an old time Marine.
Yeah.
Did you guys have swords and wear the high neck things during your time?
Swords, and I actually carried a claymore sword. Not
okay. I couldn't resist. I couldn't resist because I was in high school when you were doing this. Okay.
93, 94. Now we're in Vandenberg. We were billeted on Lompoc on Vandenberg Air Force Base. All right, we were doing drug interdiction in the Los Pedros National Forest right outside Santa Barbara.
Motherfucker.
Okay.
So, all right, so we had gone out to Lompoc the night before and done like fucking karaoke for like, I don't know, 6 fucking hours, right? I mean, we're singing like Bon Jovi, fucking
God.
Dead or Alive.
Shit show.
Like all kinds of crazy shit, right? So we come back to the barracks. Now, the very next day, I'm slated to go out. We're going out on patrol to fucking hunt down these mobile meth labs that we had tracked down in the
You
Los
have
Angeles
shit
National
to
Forest.
do in the morning.
And I was fucking drunk as fuck. So I'm looking at Doc like, Doc, you gotta fucking hook me up. So he hooks me up. I shit you not. He has a fucking IV in each arm, right?
Oh my
Laying there.
god,
IV
dude.
in each arm. Freaking my team leader comes in like, what the fuck are you doing? This is like 03, right? after I'd come back from the bar, drinking like a fish, singing karaoke, 03, we're slated to fucking roll out on the freaking birds at like 05. And I'm hooked up to double IVs, right? In fucking in the middle of nowhere, California. So I get all pumped up, freaking hydrated like a motherfucker, and then we roll out 05, 06-ish. We land in Los Pejos National Forest,
Dude.
get inserted, and then go fuck up some drug dealers. That shit was fucking epic.
Nice.
That's a fucking
Dude.
story.
Oh my
winning
god,
right
dude. You're like one eyeing it, getting out of the fucking helicopter
it's
with like a
horrible.
rifle in your shoulder.
I was the guy carrying that 60 Echo that we were talking about episodes ago. So I'm sitting there, I'm carrying like 600 rounds of 7.62, right? and like,
Oh my god.
they're probably like batteries for a prick 77. Dude, just fucking dying.
Dude, your civilian counterpart is scratching his door trying to get the keys into the fucking door. You're humping through a fucking national forest with a
I'm
link.
through a national forest,
Oh god.
through culverts and everything else, fucking trying to remain undetected by fucking civilians.
Shh, guys, shh. We gotta recon things, guys. Shh, shh, shh. We're gonna recon the shit out of this. Shh. 5-paragraph order. So we do a 5-paragraph
We're
order.
about to burn down like 4 acres of
Somebody do it. Fucking methods. Fuck those guys.
What?
We're
and I'm
good.
fucking still drunk.
Shh, shh. Guys, be quiet. We gotta get these methods. Shh. Shh. Everybody, shut up. Shh, shh. Everybody, shh. We got these fucking guys.
But I can tell you,
Fucking dopers.
that was one of my first. That was one of my first contacts with California.
Oh,
culture.
God.
Dude, I love.
Oh my
I
god.
loved California because we dealt with a lot of. Well, I can tell you that we hooked up with these chicks that used to. Well,
Ooh, do we get to tell those stories?
Yeah, hell yeah.
So they,
Yes, I have a sea. I got a good sea story.
they lived in Lompoc. Well, who the
Yeah.
fuck lives in Lompoc?
I don't know. I was just gonna say. I'm thinking of girls with no teeth in Longpoke because the name alone sounds like a place you don't want.
Right. Oh god.
They lived in Lompoc, but they worked in Santa Barbara. So we're all like bank tellers or something. Holy shit, it was amazing. But anyway,
Oh my god.
Oh wow.
one of them was a dependent.
Oh, shocking.
From
Oh,
a guy.
yeah.
He was like oh shit, it's Air Force rank now. Hold on. Chief Master
What's a
Sergeant.
3 up to 3 down mean to you? An end of an ending. Oh, sweet. We're good.
Oh
Master
my
Sergeant
god.
Vandenberg. So, which Vandenberg is a missile base. So whatever.
Oh my
At the end of the
God.
day,
I don't even know what the Air Force does.
there was more chicks on Vandenberg than there was dudes. So
Oh my god.
And there were dudes there.
very, very few.
They have the best chow halls in the world.
The
Our Air Force
greatest
bases.
shit, yes.
I hate them because
Why?
they're so
I
good.
don't know. I have no idea why they need to eat that well.
I don't know. When we went to Kadena, I was angry.
And after at the end of the day, they have fucking mid rats, dude.
Duh.
So you're coming in drunk.
They have it good.
Food, like you can go to the chow hall and get food.
Yep.
You don't
Oh,
have
yeah.
to go to the diner in town.
No.
Dude, and it's a heat.
Mid rats.
It is. If you do it right, you get French toast, eggs,
Yeah.
sausage. You
fucking
make the
omelet
sandwich,
over.
and you just pour your syrup right on the eggs in the middle.
And then to top it all off, some Filipino chick. At the end of the day, some Filipino chick freaking clears your plate. You don't even have to take your freaking plate and tray.
Okay, that bugged me.
Thing.
There's no
I was like
scullery.
a rebel. I was trying to get up and like go put it away just to show them up. Get that rebellious Marine in me. He was like, "Oh fuck you! We take our own.
You're fucking taking our job away. Don't do that.
Don't do that." I'm like, "F them. They're here. They don't need to." That's the same thing. So here's one of my. We have time, right? I can tell at least one of my.
Absolutely.
Eric, you want to hear sea stories?
Oh, sweet! So I don't have a lot of good, I have a lot of training stories because I like to laugh about all the shit I've done. I think that those are the best stories. So when I was stationed in beautiful K-Bay, we got to go to ASH training. I love the fact that the Marine Corps actually has something called ASH training, Arctic Survival School, in beautiful Fairbanks, Alaska. Nothing like freezing your ass off in March.
All right. For a
So we
Hawaii
went-
Marine.
Yeah, great. It's where you send Hawaii Marines because normally we go to, the Hawaii Marines listening will know this PTA, which is the Pakalua Training Area. area on the Big Island. It's a mile up, and it snows right above us, and it's where they trained for the moon missions and for the Iwo Jima landings because it's very volcanic, and it frickin' chaws through you. So instead we got to go to beautiful Alaska, Fairbanks, Alaska, and we stayed on Ellison Air Force Base, and we were also between the Air Force Base, and then we went and had a base that we were out of at Fort Wainwright when we were in actual Fairbanks.
Alaska.
Like complete 100%. So they put us at Fort Wainwright, which is an Army base. You know, they don't even roll their sleeves the right way, and they're just weird, and they wear berets, and their cover looks different. It's like they couldn't afford the whole thing, so they needed like some fucked up thing, and they wear them inside. You know, and here we are. We're Marines. We don't wear covers inside because that's stupid.
Nor do we salute inside.
No,
which
so
was
we're in the chow hall.
Saluting inside. What the fuck?
So we're in a chow hall, and I'm a hard charging E4. Good old Corporal Mitchell. It's live and direct. So I'm standing in there, and I got my guys with me. And we're eating chow. We've been out. We had to wear these Mickey Mouse freaking cold weather boots. So we were finally going to get some hot chow. It's the morning, and these assholes come up to us and they're like, "Why aren't you saluting? Why do you have your cover off?" I'm like, because I have an EGA. Did you not know? And it was like, it's funny how other branches don't know. We fucking don't wear our shit inside.
Right. Unless we're under arms.
He was an MP, and he was like, "Let me go find your lieutenant." I'm like, okay. He's sitting on the other side of the chow hall in the officer's mess. But you want to waltz on over to him and ask him. He'll be the one with his cover off also. You can notice all of us, our covers are off. So no, it was freezing cold. So we go on. I love this story. So we go back out to the field in the middle of frickin' nowhere. Like literally this is the Air Force. You can tell they don't use their range very often. Their range, typical range, but had cool automated pop-ups, which was cool for instead of pulling targets, they popped up automatically, which was awesome. And you don't police your rounds. They like suck them up with like this cool vacuum thing.
Shut the fuck up. Are you serious?
Awesome.
I was like, I love these motherfuckers. So,
wow.
So we're practicing talking guns. So we have a 240 Golf up on an elevated position, and one on the other side, and another.
Not just like, any 240 Golf.
There you go.
Amen.
Fantastic.
Because you got to give it the right nomenclature, baby. Cause, you know, it was better when I came in the Corps when the M60 was pretty cool, and that thing was like Rambo. And of course, I did what every
douchebag.
Hog
is the fucking bomb, baby.
What every douchebag does when they come in, you put it on your hip like you're John Jay, and you're like, "Fuck you!"
I carried that fucking thing for the first 2 years I was in the Corps.
I love that thing. So anyway, so we're doing talking guns, right?
Right.
And I'm sitting there, and when we're doing it, I don't quite notice what's over to my left, like because I'm on a range and I really don't give a shit. And I notice Marines are leaning on something. We got people are just like chilling out, and this Air Force guy comes over and he's like, "Can you not put that heavy gun up there?" And I'm like, "Why?" He's like, "'Cause that is an active pipeline coming through here. That's oil." I'm like, "Who the fuck puts a range next to a fucking pipeline? Like, really, guys?"
Why would you do that?
They did. True story. So we ended up going from there because, like good Marines, we leave there and we need to go camp in the middle of fucking nowhere. Right. So we go on this patrol. We're going through beautiful forest, like everything you've ever seen, and the sun doesn't set, which fucking a lieutenant takes advantage of in a heartbeat. Like, oh, keep humping. Come on, sun's still up.
It's 11:30 at night. Keep fucking humping.
Right.
Keep humping. We don't need to stop when the sun sets. You can sit down. Fuck you. So we're going through the woods and we're sitting there, and there's tree. And I'm 6 foot tall, so right now I'm standing with my hands up. So if you were to stand up and stretch your hands out like that high in a tree, it's like carved out. And so we have like a guide with us. Like he's basically the Air Force guy who comes along and he wears a little white tape on his hat. You know, he's like making sure we're not burning shit up or doing what they think we're doing. I don't know.
The coyote, the handler,
whatever the hell he was, right? He's like, and I'm like, what are those? He's like, oh, grizzly. He's like, oh yeah, they're coming out of hibernation. I'm like, and he's sharpening his fucking claws on that, and you're just like grizzly. I'm like, what are we supposed to do if we see a grizzly? Because we're walking, BFAs on the front of our weapons. What are we supposed to do? Blank him to death? And
oh
he's like,
my God!
I've got my sidearm, and I'm like, you have a 9. I'm like, what the
shit!
fuck is that
and you're
thing going to do? Make him angry?
Force.
I'm like, he's pissed off. Like, what is he going to do with that? Throw it at him? So no, long story short, we end up doing this whole operation. We're up there, and they decide that this cute game to end this school, this operation thing, Hawaii Marines with the Northern Army people, is we're going to do a 24-hour war, us versus them. So, which was funny because we landed like clear out in the middle of nowhere. There's way less of us, and they have these interesting rules of engagement, and we were like, okay, it's a war, so we hump faster than they, I guess, expect. So we get to them when they're getting ready to eat chow in the evening. And you know how we found them? We followed the 5-ton, the sound of the 5-ton, because it was bringing them hot chow. And then we attacked at dark because we knew right where they were. We took out their LPOP and we hit them, and their general got all pissed off because the operation took 12 hours instead of 24. And he was like, well, how did you find us? I'm like, because you had hot chow. We could smell it. And the guys in the Army were like, you guys, like, what do you guys eat? Like, when you go out to the field for a week, what do you eat for dinner? You like the fact that make them all like surfers? They're all like the turtle in freaking Finding Nemo all of a sudden. Like, dude, I was like, we eat MREs. What the fuck do you people eat? They're like, they bring us hot chow like 2 times. Like, we eat an MRE for lunch if we want. I'm like, was it like daycare here? Like, whatever. The Army, just show up. You have the best weapons, cool shit. You have Blackhawks with skis on them. That's the first time I ever did Map of the Earth, was on a Blackhawk in Alaska. That was pretty dope. Yeah. Blackhawks are cool helos when you're used to the shitty CH-46s and CH-53s that, that whole nose all the way up as you come in landing, and somehow the Marine Corps is trying to sell your 0311 asset. You're protected. I'm like, RPG in the bottom of this baby and not protected. Negative. No, that negative Ghost Rider. No. That's like when I went to the Sheriff's Academy and they were teaching me how to shoot the correct way, which is Olympic stance. You can Google that if you don't know. And we don't shoot that way. And I'm like, so I'm asking the instructor, why are we shooting this way? He's like, it's so your vest, it gives you maximum protection. I'm like, well, where I come from, we try not to get shot, so we make smaller targets. Just saying. Right. Why? But I mean, that story, I'll do real quick and then I'll let you guys do the rest of your show. So I'm at the Sheriff's Academy. You guys will love this. Veterans love this story, trust me. So I'm there, and there's like 7 of us in the Sacramento Sheriff's Academy. Mind you, 9/11 has not happened yet. Right. So I'm there pre 9/11. I'm trying to get out of the Marine Corps for the first time. Trying. Damn, Osama ruined that for me. So I'm trying to get out. I'm at there. We're going to the rifle range or the handgun range, and we're there. So we're practicing putting your gun in the holster, which is difficult for civilians, I guess. They need repetition of this shit you did like for an hour. Like it's like snapping in on a white barrel. Right. Same principle. Right. This one is like out of holster, in of holster, out of holster, in of holster, in. And I'm standing next to 2 Air Force folks. One guy has the same first name as me, and he did something in the Air Force. I think it was like he fixed avionics or something. And the gal next to him, she was an MP. So the 3 of us are standing there, and I'm their squad leader. So I'm sitting there with them, and I put my weapon in. So they did this whole thing freeze. And the 2 instructors are both jarheads, which is great because they love me and they know we're always making jokes, and they're letting me get away with murder because I'm supposed to be a recruit, but they totally respect rank and what you did, and they're like, dude, we know you're. So they say, okay, they do 3, 2, 1, place it and take your hand off, like complete blind trust, which is easy for me because I know what the hell I'm doing. I put mine in, and all of a sudden, as he says freeze, you hear thud, and I feel across my boot. Oh. And I'm like, there's very few things in life that I know exactly what that felt like going across my foot. There's no particular reason I would know what a weapon feels like going across my foot, but if all the Marines listening will go, holy shit, yeah. You know that feeling when you think about your weapon falling out of your hand and hitting your feet? That's what that would feel like. So there's a Sig Sauer sitting on my left boot, and this instructor comes flying over, and he's like, God damn it, Mitchell, why the fuck is there a gun on your foot? And I'm like, oh, no, it's not mine. They're like, are you sure? I'm like, I don't even need to look, because you don't have to look. And I'm like, you could feel it, right? I mean, what genius doesn't know what's, like, tucked to your side? I mean, I made it so I could always feel it rub in and rub out on my hip. Right. Because it's safety first, right? They teach you that. I'm like, it's not mine. And he looks at Eric, my other Eric next to me, Eric Labby, who's an officer somewhere here in California. And Eric's like, it's not my weapon. I know right where it is. I can feel it. And he sees it. And he's like, what the hell? Why are you not following your weapon? And she's just sitting there like, did I drop it? And I'm like, oh, no. And he's like, you're a freaking MP. He's like, this one's an 0311. We could cut him some slack because they need coloring books to figure directions out. The other one's in the Air Force. And he's probably like, dude, whatever. But you were an MP. And she just sat there. And they were like, well, will you please go get the weapon? And she walks over whatever, like, no big deal. And the whole time I'm like, remember what they told you in boot camp from day one follows for the rest of your life, right? You hit the deck before your weapon does.
Oh, God, yeah.
I mean, you never throw that. And to have that happen, like, right in front of me was like, it was like my whole body, like, every part of me, because I didn't know at first if it was mine. Like, I had that outright, like, complete panic, like, holy shit, it is not. It wasn't mine. Because I was like, I clenched the butt cheeks to make the whole body, like, lower body kind of expand out. I was like, there's a sidearm right there, motherfucker. Woohoo, I'm good. It's not my weapon. But she's the same one who ended up getting expelled a week later when she pivoted on the firing line.
No.
She asked a question and turned with the weapon in hand. And I saw it happen, and I got written up because I made a few off-color United States Marine Corps comments, and also said that I would engage her if she wouldn't change the way she was pointing, because when you engage me, when you point a weapon at me, what the hell am I supposed to do?
Right. Aside from
Like,
freak out.
Because I looked at her, and I had to go through a sexual harassment course for the words that I use, because they say you're not supposed to say those things. But I'm like a Marine who did that, male, female, freaking anybody. You point a weapon at another Marine, you're gonna get your ass beat.
Oh, God, yeah.
Like, you're not gonna be able to hold a weapon because every bone in your body is gonna break, and no one's gonna know anything. You're gonna be like, he fell a lot, she fell a lot, and they just sat there, and she was just like, I don't know.
We had a shooter. She pulled up, and you're doing the magazine exchange drill in the middle of the Marine Corps course to fire 15 yards, and she fires the first 3, goes to pull up the next magazine, and she's like, chunk, 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 looks down, realizes that the magazine's backwards. Instead of changing the magazine, she points the pistol straight at her face. Inserts the magazine, slide forward, so now she's condition 1 with her finger on the trigger pointed at her face. And the coaches around are like, what the fuck? And she goes, she slides back forward, like I'm holding people back. She slides back forward, pow, 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 comes the slide lock, and I like slide my hand down her arm, retrieve the pistol, and I'm like, bitch, get off my range. And fucking, she just starts fucking crying, dude. I was done. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Some people don't get it. They're just like...
We're on, like, target 13 out of 25.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. She just flagged, like, 12 solid shooters. Me. I mean, she made condition 1, basically staring down the barrel of an M9 service pistol. You're just like, wow, dude. That was... I've seen some stupid shit, but you almost canoed your dome piece there.
How the hell how do you...
Oh, yeah.
How do you even look at a weapon that way? It's like... my son goes through that with me with, like, his Nerf guns. I teach him to, like, condition those.
Right.
Like I'm like, there's no point in your life you need to look down the barrel of a weapon. Period. End of sentence.
Right.
There's nothing. They're never, even if it's not even put together, you still don't need to. And,
Look from the chamber forward. Look from the chamber forward.
Yeah. I was like, good God. People are just... But we have those people out there. I mean, you have those people, especially we don't need guns. Guns are bad. And it's because people like that exist on the planet.
Right.
Because guns shoot themselves, not people.
Oh, dude. Yeah. Well, and then, of course, you spend all of this time qualifying with the M9 service pistol. You bring it down range. The first time you take prone in 29 palms, it fills with sand, and then you can't fucking use it. Might as well be a paperweight. So, which is lanyard, or dummy quarter to your body.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Of course.
It's pretty sweet.
29 palms.
Oh, yeah, dude. I was a home unit. 3-7 weapons. Raw? I was a boot 03 in 29 palms. Yay! Yay!
No one said it. Said no one ever.
Right. It was like Mojave Desert, Kuwaiti Desert, Iraqi, Kuwaiti, Mojave. Like you get home from Iraq to the Mojave Desert.
To just get hot again.
It's all about some desert.
Right.
They want to get the desert into you. They just want to, that's the Marine Corps for you. We have great people who are like, didn't you just love Camp Pendleton? I'm like, what do you think we do on Camp Pendleton? What do you think goes on there? We have, see the big ass mountains?
Right.
Do you know why there's trails carved into there? Because our asses hike up and down them.
No, those are fire breaks. Those are fire breaks. Yeah, get the fuck out of here. I don't know how do they cut said fire breaks then?
Dead Marines.
Oh my God.
You just gotta love people when they think of the Marine Corps. I mean, I see it, we see it every day. I mean, we hear about it. I mean, it's just funny. I just, this is fun. I mean, talking to you guys, I forget that we're actually recording something, so this is awesome.
Right on. It's kind of the point of the show.
I love it. This is a good idea.
Exactly.
I don't feel like I'm being interviewed, and I kind of like it. I've done a fair share of interviews, and I actually just did one with Forbes today.
Congratulations. That's cool.
But it was funny because they were like, "So you were a soldier?"
Oh no.
And I'm like, huh? I'm like, no. I said I was a United States. He goes, well, like, there's a difference? I'm like, yeah, there's a big-ass difference.
Yeah.
He's like, And then he also said, he's like, well, we're doing kind of a series of people. The first person, I keep trying to get him, he's a Medal of Honor winner. I'm like,
Winner?
His
name was drawn.
I'm like, we win those now? I'm like, shit.
Right.
I didn't put my raffle card in. Did you guys put yours in?
He fucking went.
You missed the 50-50? There was a 50-50. Did you miss it?
So that's how Dakota got it.
Right.
I knew Dakota Myers got it that way. I knew it wasn't for bravery and shit. No, but he was sitting there, and he wasn't talking about a Marine. I thought he was going to tell me Dakota or something. He was telling me it was Captain Swinson, the Army recipient, and he's the one that's famous, which is an awesome story if anybody doesn't follow Simon Sinek. Oh, my God, I adore him. Simon is a favorite of mine. If anybody I want to plug before we do anything, because I hope this comes out before the conference. There's a conference in New York. It's called Sales Machine. I can get folks a couple passes. Simon Sinek's speaking. I think he's just like butter when it comes to like motivation, especially if you're military, have a military background. Simon's amazing TED Talk by Simon Sinek. But Simon is the one who brought up that Captain Swinson was filmed by the captain of a Black Hawk because they were coming to rescue the Marines at the Army that was ambushed with their friendly Afghani counterparts. I wonder how that ambush happened. Strange. And he came up and he was carrying his sergeant, and he placed him into the medevac. And on GoPro, you watch the pilot look back at him, and before he takes off again, he leans forward and he kisses him on the forehead, which is like incredible. Right? I watched it. You could actually YouTube this shit.
Yeah.
And I didn't believe it, and I watched it, and it was incredible. And to me, it was the guy was like, he's really hard to get a hold of, and he doesn't like to tell his story. I'm like, he doesn't tell his story. Yeah, I wonder why. He's a Medal of Honor recipient, and he doesn't want to rehash the story over and over again because you're going to ask him, what was it like to kiss him on his forehead? Like, you're going to try to make it like he was like trying to open mouth kiss him, and it was his upbringing, and the guy was, it was just funny because he was asking me how, as a veteran, I felt getting into, marketing and, why I'm not in one of the typecast veterans. Apparently, we're typecast. I'm supposed to be in law enforcement. I didn't get that memo, but I'm typecast.
All right.
Veterans are typecast.
Shocking.
I was like, oh.
I didn't get that memo either.
So, therefore, if you are currently getting out of the service, you should join law enforcement because that's where you belong. Coming from a reporter from New York. But hopefully it's a good interview. I was talking about some other great Marines. We were talking about Michael Brito, who's doing some pretty good things. Him and I spoke at a conference together, so it's pretty cool to get other Marines who are doing other things. Michael did a TEDx. I know you did one too, Mr. Penny. Yours was, I've watched it since you've shared it. So
nice.
I'm a fan of TEDx, so I think those are incredible, and everybody should do those. So no, but this is fun. I'm having fun. This is great.
Right on. Yeah, man. We'd be glad to have you back again some other time.
Oh,
absolutely.
I'd love to come back. I need to have a beer when I do this show, though. It needs to be like, what was that show on Comedy Central with Adam Carolla and...
the Man Cave. Wait,
Man Cave. I love it. Juggies.
Was it the Man Cave?
I don't know. The Man Show.
The Man Show.
With the Juggies. Oh, yeah.
There you go. Maybe we're channeling some of that subconsciously.
I feel like we are.
Yeah.
I'm having too much fun. I get to cuss.
I think you're right.
I think men just do it naturally, though. Well, we were talking about this before. We were like, oh, yeah, wouldn't it be great to just record all of the crazy shit that we did in the lounge? And that's basically, that's the essence of it right there. There's basically that, even especially as an instructor, there's this backdrop that nobody else sees because you're in the lounge and you've got your wall locker in there and stuff like that, and you're all just kind of like fucking around and stuff. The worst shit comes out in there. Just the worst, most foul, disgusting jokes, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, of course.
So
but people need to hear this. I think even civilians need to see it because, my downfall, the gripe that I have is somebody who's in the public eye, right? And it sucks. I mean, I like it. I mean, but people are like, oh, you want to be famous? And I'm like, hell no, I don't. I want to help others. That's why I have this following. I don't try to do anything to become anything famous. I mean, I canceled my show because I wanted to prove people I wasn't a fame whore. But it's like people look at me and they're like, well, you know, I'm either controversial or I'm not, right? I speak my mind because I just don't flat give a shit. But it's like I want to be able to go and talk to, because I talk about veterans all the time, but they don't know what we're like. I mean, you know, half the people, the first question anybody who meets you will be like, no, so how many people you kill? Like, is that like your leading question? That's what you just walk up? I mean, I didn't walk up and say how many people do you fuck. I mean,
I tell people a village.
Yeah,
I just give it as a denomination,
village,
like a village.
A village.
And then just kind of let them kind of stew on it a little bit. Like a village could be like, oh, you mean like a village, and then they're like, oh, I hope the population was small, and then they're like a village, like it was a decent size. You know what I mean? Like you don't need to give them like a footprint, but you know, just say village, and then they
I love it that people will ask, can we Google it? Like, yeah, the Marine Corps just lets that record be out because they brag about this stuff, you know. Because it's funny because everybody's doing this with Chris Kyle right now with his, you know, I mean, the guy's dead. He saved a lot of Marines, and I don't give a shit what he said. Yeah. Right? I mean, I don't care, and people are like making a deal about it, and I'm like, the guy's dead. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Smear his name? He's still a hero. He saved our brothers. Right. I mean, I noticed it's none of us.
And
bitching,
his
right?
brother's a Marine.
Yeah. I'm like, dude, people are just dumb. People just right. Watch 13 hours, and we can get back and have an anger.
There you go.
Together.
There you go. 13th Hour. It is a damn good movie.
It
is a damn good movie.
I read the book too. Big fan of the book. It's actually, I mean, it's written. I mean, it's unfortunate that it's not brought up a lot, but you know, hopefully, I mean, we can only hope with. I mean, there's a primary here in the state of California this week, tomorrow.
Good luck on that one, bro.
Not that it matters for anybody who doesn't vote for. Yeah, it's an interesting place to live here, and you know, it's just it's an interesting world we live in as veterans. It's an interesting world to be anybody who's pro-military, pro Blue Lives Matter. It's just an interesting time right now. I mean, not to get deep, but I mean, it's pretty. You know, you see it a lot now, and I think it's something that it's good to laugh because we all need to get together and laugh, and people need to see how we all act because you know, you either hear veterans are one way or the other, and everybody thinks that every single one of us is. It's like somebody was saying. I heard this comment the other day. They're like, well, you can't tell when somebody has PTSD, and I'm like, well, that's a good thing. What do you think they should walk around with like a sign? And I heard that comment. Well, they don't act like they have it. I'm like, are you sleeping with them at night? Are you going to their counseling sessions? I mean, there was a good, and I'll end it on this. There was a great, and it's funny because he's such a liberal. What's his name? Bob. What the hell? I completely forgot his name. I will remember this. He's an old comedian. He died. Old, raunchy, tall, white guy. Can't remember his name. All of a sudden, it's embarrassing.
George Carlin?
George Carlin. There we go. George. I don't know why I forgot that. It's embarrassing. I love comedy. George Carlin got up, and he was talking about PTSD, but he was talking about how in World War I, it was called shell shock, right?
Right.
In World War II, we kind of sugar-coated it. And, you know, in Korea, we still sugar-coat it. In Vietnam, we gave it post-traumatic stress disorder because we needed to make it fancy and sound like it wasn't anything that you could really get. Instead of taking it away from what the correct, exact title of it is from World War I, they had it right, shell shock, 2 words, because that's basically what it does to you, right? I mean, your dome is junk, and, you know, we don't do anything. And it's funny because it's been happening since World War I, and nobody's given a shit. And unfortunately for us, we lost a great advocate for veterans when James Gandolfini died because he was really spending all his HBO money to make constant documentaries on it. And with him passing, it kind of, you know, stopped the movement. And now it's taking veterans to do it.
Right.
Because we're the only people who are going to speak up and take care of our own brothers. Civilians don't give a shit. You know, they're worried about, walls and I don't know, whatever else they think about. We're the ones that have to sit there and watch people. We have to sit there and watch people burn our flag. And I still don't get that shit.
Pistol whippings need to be involved.
I saw that happen last week, Thursday here, just 25 miles from my house it occurred, and I was like, oh my God, if I would have been there, I would have been arrested. Because people were filming it, like they were cheering it, and I'm like, oh my God, I would have been that guy.
Right.
I would have been that guy live on TV who just beat the living tar out of somebody. I would have been like, oh, you want to burn that flag? Oh, guess what? I'm going to burn you. How's that feel?
Here's some fire for you guys.
Here's some fire for you. You want Then you just yell out loud, I'm a Marine, and see who comes running over to help you. That's what basically happens. My friend asked me that. He's like, what would you have done? And he's a CHP officer. Great guy. He was covering it, and he was like, sending me pictures. He's like, dude, we're trying to find douchebags to hit because we're not tolerating this. And I'm like, sweet.
Yes.
And he's like, but he goes, the unfortunate thing about these protesters is they go talk a lot of shit, and all of a sudden they see law enforcement, and they're like,
Right.
because, they're like, please disperse or we'll beat you with these sticks. Because you throw an egg or a rock at us, we'll beat your ass. And also, like, most of them are prior service, so they're like, you burn that flag in front of me, I guarantee you, I'll go on the beach for 14 days for excessive force. I don't care. I will beat you till you... I have this big stick, and it hurts like hell.
The hippies at Kent State had it easy, okay?
Yeah,
I'm going to show you what the big green weenie means.
Hey, we're in a different world now. We're in a different place now, my friends. A different world. There's 21 million veterans out there in America right now. So the numbers are in our favor.
Yeah.
There's a lot more of us. People have to remember we've done shit. I mean, that's why you have this great podcast. We can all talk, get a little serious, have a lot of fun. I think that's the important thing that
God bless America and no one else.
Oh, hell yeah. No one else.
Fucking
Are there other people?
No.
I didn't
Every climbing place where we could take a gun. Every once in a while, I just throw a Marines hymn quote. Every once in a while.
Yeah, just every once in a while. I just remember we're America's 911, so we're just, we go everywhere.
The big what?
You just need to go kick some ass. Send those assholes. They'll go figure it out. If
go.
not, they'll probably make a video and fuck it up. And
See, folks, that's why you subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, and Player FM. Check us out anytime. Eric Mitchell, you're an awesome dude. Can I just say that?
Oh,
for the record.
I feel warm and fuzzy.
Well, every once in a while, you're like, all right, he's a Marine, and then we'll add this guy on, and it'll be great, blah, blah, blah. But no, we know you in a lot of different ways. We know you from talking on, Sunday masterminds and hanging out with other vets and doing good stuff together. Keep adding value to the world, man.
That's right. Keep adding value.
Been a huge.
I will. You guys too. You guys are doing a great thing. Everybody together. This is how we change the world. One person at a time. The listener out there, we never know. Anybody out there listening, they always know that there's three of us. I know you guys are approachable. I didn't know you guys from Adam a year ago, and you guys are like brothers to me. That's the great thing. We all served. You raise your right hand and serve your country. You're a brother of mine. I don't give a shit what branch you served in. My phone number's out there. I'm very public with my phone number, and people can call me up at any time. And if they need a voice to talk to, I'll listen, and I'll always place a veteran with anybody I know in my network. Try to get a job because I'd rather help a vet than somebody who won't. And we'll just like, you veterans preference.
There ain't no fucking I in team. You know what I'm saying?
So where can people find you? What are your links?
My links, you can go to my website, which is www.lifeflipmedia.com, and you can find me on Twitter at Eric L. Mitchell, Facebook, Eric L. Mitchell. I'm on everything under Eric L. Mitchell. I'm pretty easy to find, or you could just email me at eric@ericlmitchell.com, and I respond to any emails. You can even call me, 408-206-9549. I'm not kidding. A text. Tell me what's up. If you need somebody to talk to, you're looking for any kind of job. I'm here in the Silicon Valley. I've been here my entire career, and I place people all the time. I have a pretty extensive veteran network that would love to help you out, and it's anywhere, you name it. We try to help out. Check out my website. We're always trying to look for people out there, so if you're a freelancer looking for some, always go that way. But find me anywhere there. I did that across the board. My number one tip to anybody trying to make it in the world, brand yourself. Completely across the board, it's easy to brand your name. Guy Kawasaki taught me that. Your name is easy because you just saw how I listed all that. You can't screw that up. Eric L. Mitchell across the board. At Eric L. Mitchell, you name it, that's what I am. So that's how you get a hold of me. I'm pretty easy to get a hold of. Smoke signal, pop smoke whenever you need to. I'm always available and love to chat with anybody out there, long as you're not a Dodger fan. If you're a Dodger fan, you'll probably get a delayed phone call because I'm a Giants fan. Just saying. Just putting that out. Or a Cavaliers fan this week, you probably won't get a quick response.
Right.
Just saying, Golden State Warriors rule.
Podcasts are like time machines.
Yes, they are. People are like, what does that mean?
Right.
It's like, that's something. I mean, it's kind of like, we could post date this because, that.
There you go. All right, brother.
But it's been fun, guys. I appreciate it. It's been great. You guys are doing a great thing. I appreciate the opportunity to come on. I'd love to come back on again. And thank you both a bunch, and Semper Fi to you both.
Hoorah. Semper Fidelis, brother. Thank you so much to all of our listeners out there. Thank you to our sponsors. You heard them during the mid-roll thing. I'm not going to bore you with all the gory details. Eric L. Mitchell, check him out across the board as far as social media. Reno 3 doing good things out there in Silicon Valley. You rock, bro. Take care. Be well. Cue the music.
setting sun.